I know you stopped serving breakfast, Rick. Sheila told me you stopped serving breakfast. Why am I calling you by your first names? I don't even know who you are. I still call my boss Mister. I worked for him for 7.5 years, but I walk in here all of a sudden total strange, and I'm calling you Rick and Sheila like we're in some kind of AA meeting. I don't want to be your buddy, Rick. I just want a little breakfast.
Oh, you can call me Miss Folsom if you want to.
Sheila, we stopped serving breakfast at 11:30.
Rick, have you ever heard the expression, the customer is always right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here I am, the customer.
That's not our policy. You have to order something from the lunch menu.
I don't want lunch. I want breakfast.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm really sorry, too.
Okay, good. Let's get on. Calm down.
All right, bye, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Citizen Frame. Today, we're talking Falling Down. I forgot the title there for a second.
Wow, it had that much of an effect on you. Unbelievable.
No, not really. It's got issues now. I'm watching it again.
Really?
This will be a fun one, though. This will be a fun one.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Falling Down, 1993. Before we get into it, we're going to talk about the boy, Joel Schumacher. Now, Joel Schumacher, I've always been a fan of. Joel Schumacher is right up there with Peter Hyams and John Badham. You guys listen to this podcast, you know who those two are. I promote their work as much as I can. Underrated filmmakers. Joel Schumacher is one of them. And I think it's because they don't realize the work he's done. Unfortunately, in the 90s, he's known for directing. He's known more for his duds than he is for his actual craft and his work he's done. So you've got, I'll name them right now. It's going to be Batman Forever and Batman and Robin and The Phantom of the Opera and the number 23, kind of more of that tail end. But it was Phantom of the Opera and Batman Forever and Batman and Robin that kind of tainted him a bit, which is fucking bullshit. Because I'm going to tell you this man's line of work, and a lot of people don't realize he's directed most of these films. All right. Now, he started out as a visual merchandiser. He was like working for Macy's, doing like Christmas stuff. Well, the big attractions everyone goes to see.
Yes.
The window, whatever it is. And anyways, window displays. And he got discovered. And so for his visual stylings. So he started out, he did a movie called The Incredible Shrinking Woman. That was fun. It's 1981, zany comedy with Lily Tomlin. But then it was a movie called St. Elmo's Fire, which I didn't realize he did.
Yeah.
Brad Pack film, great film, incredible soundtrack.
Emilio Estevez and Rob Lowe and the gang, Demi Moore.
Yeah, the Brad Pack, pretty much the Breakfast Club is in that film.
Yes.
And then he wasn't supposed to direct it. Richard Donner had to walk away from this next project so he could do The Goonies, but he gave it to his friend to do it. And what a wonderful choice. Because of his visual background, he was the perfect choice. He went on to direct The Lost Boys. Now, when The Lost Boys came out, that catapulted him. Because these films I'm about to tell you, you probably don't even know he directed, and they're fucking awesome. And I even say awesome, I'll hold by that. That is 1990s Flatliners.
Yep.
1994's The Client, based on the John Grisham. He also did A Time to Kill, 1996, based on John Grisham. He did, I think, one of the darkest films ever produced, with Nicolas Cage, James Gandolfini's terrifying in it, and a very young Joaquin Phoenix. And that movie's called 8mm.
Yes.
You guys, if you guys like 7, this almost, if not is, darker than 7. Watch 8mm.
Is it about snuff films or something? I remember it at the time. Yeah.
Well, it's about he's investigating this missing. This rich guy wants to hire Nicolas Cage to find his daughter. They find this snuff film, but they want to find out if it's real.
Yes. Yeah.
And it is disturbing shit. And Nicolas Cage's character is amazing in it. The journey he takes. I don't want to see it. See 8mm. Then he hits another home run. Another fucking home run with a great little film called Phone Booth.
Loved Phone Booth. Great show. Colin Farrell.
Yeah. My point here is that no one knows he directed these films that I mentioned. And that's what he should be known for. Yeah, he's got a couple of duds. And quite frankly, his craft as a visual storyteller, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, as bad as they are visually stunning films.
Well, they're a bit, to be fair, they are a bit of an assault on the senses in terms of the visuals, like overproduced. But in Schumacher's defense with those films, I think it was basically the studio calling the shots for a large bulk of it anyway, because they were such, big films, big releases. Flatliners, I remember really liking Flatliners at the time whenever it was released in video. Julia Roberts, Kiefer Sutherland, and Oliver Platt, I believe's in it, Kevin Bacon. Yeah, but I have an admission to make. I watched Falling Down years ago on TV, really liked it, but coming to watch it again for this podcast, just backing up what you're saying about people not knowing Joel Schumacher directed certain films. I'd actually forgotten that he had directed this.
Yeah, I think you just kind of backed up my point.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, but it was $25 million it cost to make this. It made 40, so it did it right, but it's not a cult film. It's just a film that found its footing eventually, and there's a lot of appreciation for it. Now, with Falling Down, we talk about relevant movies of today and yesterday, blah, blah. We talk about that like that, especially with sci-fi, Stephen King stuff, William K. Dick stuff, movies that can transition from the 70s to the 90s and to the thousands, but still remain relevant today.
Yes.
Now, this film, 93, came out in 93, deals with so many things that were going on in the world, but they weren't in the forefront as you are today. PTSD, bipolar.
The breakdown of society, the breakdown of civility, it's all happening here, and it is more relevant here in today's age than ever before. It really is.
Yeah. It's one of those films that was relevant of the time. We didn't really catch it because, again, it wasn't in the forefront as it is now. So it was kind of early stages as people are trying to diagnose these different issues that the average human being was having. That's why it's more relevant today, because they're all in the forefront and everyone's aware of it. So that's why it has such sustainability. Falling Down.
Yeah. I think it has actually aged really well in that respect. And, it feels like it could be written for the 21st century social media era. Yes, things were bad back then with the issues it deals with here. But I mean, that's nothing compared to these days, in terms of the breakdown of civility and, basically there's a huge commentary here on Western consumerism and stuff. So, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it does. And the funny thing is, because I said it's more in the forefront today, people are more aware of it. They're not going to dismiss it. In this film, they dismiss it. So the film itself, even told in 93, is aware of what these certain characters in this film are going through, and what they're kind of being diagnosed with. Early diagnosis they're going through was being dismissed of that time. The film actually even addressed that.
Like, I was just about to say that. Yeah,
we'll talk about those scenes. It's usually with the cops not believing the wife and the way the cops treat Martin's wife and what she's going through of the loss of a child. So but we'll dig a little deeper into it as we talk Falling Down. Wow, this is me being serious, folks. And I don't think I've sworn yet. Or maybe I did.
I think that's an issue you need to deal with in these days in the modern 21st century. Your compulsive swearing.
Well, they finally diagnosed what I have.
Trevoritis.
You ready? You know what it is? That's very impressive. No, it's called Trevor syndrome.
Right. Yeah, I hear that's pretty serious.
Yeah.
There's people in incredible hulk with anger.
Yeah, it's having to deal with a fucking twat on a daily basis when you're trying to host a podcast and the fucker keeps interrupting me with fucking irrelevant shit from Doctor Who and Jill Block 9 and what the fuck he's talking about. So that's what it's...
Never mind London Bridge is falling down. Yeah, Ciaran Woods is falling down.
All right. We're just going to go by name, first names here. So we got William, played by Michael Douglas. I want to stop right there real quick. Michael Douglas. I fucking love Michael Douglas. He's in my top 5 actors of all time. Always liked him. This role, as I watched it again, with fresh eyes, podcast eyes, as we say, this is where he started being taken more serious as an actor. Now, I'm not saying he wasn't a serious actor. We loved him in Fatal Attraction, but it was the women who stole that film. Romancing the Stone, he's just playing the cool guy.
Yeah, the Indiana Jones
and then
type.
Basic Instinct, he's just playing, well, kind of the character from Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
So, and he's done some other stuff. Star Chamber is a wonderful film. Again, directed by Peter Hyams, whoever wants to watch one of his early films. He did a China Syndrome, which is a good film. Jack Lemmon, Jane Fonda.
Wasn't
It was this
called,
film. It was this film where he finally tweaked his career path, and he shaved his hair. He always had that long hair, and then he started doing films that were outside the box for him, like Falling Down. He'd do Disclosure. His best film, I love this film, The Game.
Oh, yes, The Game's brilliant. We should get that. But also we did one, I think, before Falling Down, which I remember liking a lot at the time with Andy Garcia. I think it was directed by Ridley Scott, called Black Rain.
Black Rain's fucking hot. Well, he did that in the 80s. So
that's what I'm saying, before Falling Down.
Yeah, that was kind of his bad. I guess my point is, and I hate saying it because he is a serious actor, and I hope people understand what I'm saying because we all like Michael Douglas. I think he was taken more seriously when those other films I just mentioned started coming out. And he started branching out. The Wonder Boys with Robert Downey was very good, and I think he was nominated for that. He just did a whole bunch of different kind of genres because I feel like he was being kind of typecasted as the bad guy, the badass in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. The yuppie type.
Yuppie. That might be.
I would say
Wall Street.
Yes, Wall Street as well, of course. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Well, I forgot about Wall Street.
Well, yes, but I know what you're saying. But there was a certain 80s sort of almost cheese to some of his roles, or predictability, I think would be the correct phrase, where he was playing similar type characters with, Fatal Attraction, Basic Instinct, Easy Yuppie in Wall Street as well. But yeah, for me personally, this is his greatest role as Bill Forrester here.
You know what? That's where I'm going to. He was part of the 80s craze. And most of his films, as good as they are, I love his movies, I said that, there's an 80s camp feel to his characters.
Yes.
Over the top. And where the 90s hit, things got a little more serious, and that's what I mean by Falling Down. It took him to a different path, different subgenres, and so forth. But let's continue. We just lost him. Incredibly, incredibly talented actor. Martin, played by Robert Duvall.
Pendergrass.
We got Barbara Hershey as the ex, Beth. We got Sandra, very beautiful, Rachel Ticotin. I never understood why she didn't make it big. She was good in Total Recall.
Exactly.
She did some good stuff, and she kind of faded a bit.
Yeah, I always liked her as Arnie's wife. Well, one of his wives, along with Sharon Stone in Total Recall. So yeah, she didn't really. I don't know. I think she did a lot of TV and stuff, as far as I'm aware, but she never really hit the big time.
We got Amanda, played by Scene Stealer Tuesday Weld. We got Nick, played by Scene Stealer Frederick Forrest, and the list goes on and on. The opening scene is pretty much dead on the way, if you're in the States and it's hot and you're stuck in traffic, they call it a gridlock or traffic jam. It's just in a few moments, the way you already sell, he's sweating. He's got a fly flying around him that's annoying him. You got kids screaming all around in different cars on the area. You got smoke and fumes coming into your car. People are honking. And this is pretty much where he loses the plot, decides to leave everything and walk away from his car. And this is where everything starts to take a spiral for him.
This film could be boiled down in terms of, there's some like completely on the ball symbolism throughout the film, but this film could be boiled down about being about two things: the roadworks and his briefcase.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Okay. It's what they represent. The roadworks, which come into play later on, basically represent the bureaucracy and how the little guy's always being fucked over. The ordinary guy on the street, that sort of thing. And also the briefcase, what it represents to the character of, being the successful sort of good guy, the sort of the working man, and, doing the whole American dream thing and all that there. But then whenever he discards his briefcase, which actually has nothing in it, because we'll find out later on that he never had a job to go to and hasn't had for a couple of months. He was just, pretending to go out to work because he couldn't accept being sacked. But also it's very worthwhile commenting that whenever he eventually abandons that persona which is represented through the briefcase, the thing he picks up in its place is a bag of guns.
Yeah, maybe.
No,
I
definitely.
think whatever bullshit. I think you're gonna read beyond this. Some of the things that are in this, I really do. I think it's a simple film, to be honest with you.
No, I think
Honestly, I
there
do.
is multiple nuance.
Yeah, there is, but you're gonna overthink. Like you meant, like the death of the child. You said the wife killed him, and no, she didn't.
It's heavily suggested she did.
No, it's not.
It
Why is
really
it
is.
heavily suggested? How is it heavily suggested?
Because this is a completely tight script, right? Right, there is no
Yep.
wasted line here. And at the end,
Give me one line in this film that says that she killed her child.
Robert Duvall later on, he doesn't explicitly state it, but it is heavily suggested through his dialogue at the end.
How is it heavily suggested? I just watched it. I listened to the line.
Yeah. He basically says that, the whole lead up to it, you realize that his wife has some sort of mental illness. And
She had a mental breakdown after the child died.
Yes, but
the child died.
Let me finish. He also says that she didn't want kids, and she only did it for me. She was never really up for it, and she was never really cut out for motherhood. And then he says that their child died of infant cut death, and then he says straight after that, which was very strange because the child wasn't an infant, the child was 2 and was perfectly healthy. So that is writer subtext for heavily suggested.
No, it's not at all. Crib death is unexplained. Any kind of physical or whatever tampering might have happened to that child, it would have to be by her hands. That is easily medically explained. Crib death is not. You can't explain it.
No,
that's the whole point.
No. I'm going to go
and
further.
The reason he's guilty. No, let me finish. I fucking let you talk. I'm finishing here. All right. So when he says she didn't want the child, blah, blah, he's blaming himself for what she's become because of the child's death. Would never have happened if he didn't force her to have a child. That's why he says that, because he's guilty of what she's become. She's got this PTSD and she's emotional wreck because of the death of her child. That's what he meant.
That's your take on it. My take on it is to go even further is that, again, this is the way these good writers, speak through this sort of subtext and stuff. I would even go further and say that he actually knew that the wife murdered the child and he was part of the covering up of it, and that's why it was put down to infant cut death. And I'm being completely serious. If you know anything about subtext and suggestion within writing, then it is definitely here.
Don't you fucking call me out like that, you prick. I'll call you on a heartbeat. I can fucking know what subtext is. You fucking read into shit and you just
well, that's what I got out of that.
Don't call me
100%.
illiterate, you fucking asshole.
Oh, wow. Personal insults.
You call me illiterate? Fuck you.
I didn't. No, I did. Now you're reading into my
piece of
subtext.
shit.
Wrongly.
You go fuck yourself.
Wow. Wow. Now you're reading into what I said completely wrong.
Anyways, we're gonna go back to the film.
A general statement.
As we're all fucking
personal.
And no, that's okay. That's okay.
And then it got personal with me. Wow.
Piece of shit.
Attica's on.
You're gonna get hate mail, and they're gonna go, "My God."
Yeah, the hate mail will be from fucking you.
No. Subtext. He killed this. I'm waiting for you to go, "Oh my God, it's fucking Lovecraftian."
I am 100% saying that is what is heavily suggested. Yes, it's not explicitly stated. I'm not the writer here. Obviously, I don't know for certain, but it is 100% heavily suggested.
Hold on. Ta-da.
What are you doing? Looking something up?
Yep.
All right.
Falling down.
Sure, we've got all day. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Piss me off.
Oh, wow.
All right, here we go. It just says Trevor's a dick. That's all it says. Trevor's a dick.
Did you put that in the AI? What does it come back and say? And be honest.
I will.
On like your usual ones.
Yeah, the Pornhub doesn't count. What different takes on his case about him about to tire, the fire, daughter. Fuck off. Did he kill the fucking kid?
Not him, her, the wife.
No, her. Yeah, I know. In the director's commentary, he even says it was SIDS. It was not murder.
Okay.
Or by proxy. It was not during the director's commentary. Boom.
Well, I mean, it's definitely suggested there. I mean,
No, and the director's commentary, I'm going to go with that one.
okay,
I'm going with what the director says. So everyone go fuck themselves.
okay.
Subtext, piece of shit.
Wow, throwing toys out of all sorts of proms. But no, I can accept that if that was not what was originally intended, but it certainly feels like it's suggested. Maybe perhaps toying with the audience. Definitely a suggestion there, though. But fair enough. Now get back to your normal
Anyways.
websites. Pornhub.
Oh, anyways, as I was being insulted by Trevor.
Wow, yeah, right.
What were we?
You know who you reminded me of? You reminded me of the guy who owns the gun store in this.
You mean Nick?
Yeah, the neo-Nazi.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
The
I'll
one he
give you that
kills,
one.
actually. I
That was
believe
pretty
it's the only
good.
one he kills here.
Yeah, kind of. Not by his own hand, yes.
Yeah.
But other
Directly.
people, maybe not.
Mhm.
No. Yeah, so when he goes batshit crazy, what I like about the film is that we're not going to talk about each scene. You kind of got to watch it for yourself. The movie plays like a pot boiler, and every scene he runs into somebody is his weapons changes. It gets more aggressive. You know, he's got the suitcase, then he's got the baseball bat,
Aggression,
then he's got
yeah.
the knife, and then he's got the Uzis. And then the bazooka, which was stupid, kind of takes me out of the film. That kind of actually really hurts the
It was
film.
a bit. It
But-
turned into a little bit of an Arnie film or a Stallone action film then, but at least they sort of quit while they were ahead with it. You know.
Well, yeah, we'll jump into it in a second here, but a little deeper into it, that is. But the reason I bring this up earlier is because the film is, I always like pot boilers. So every time he gets a new weapon, things get more violent, they get more aggressive, but at the same time, you're kind of rooting for him, and because I don't care who we are, I don't care who we are in this world, and I don't care if you're woke, millennial, whatever you are. We've all been where this man's been, not by actions, but by thoughts.
And to just back that up, actually,
we go to a store. We go to a store and we're paying something for a pop. It's unreal. If we go to a McDonald's, why isn't my burger look like that? We have thought that thousands and thousands of times.
Yeah,
his actions is obviously are different than ours. We know how to, pull it back.
No, he go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that I actually agree with that. And actually, it is all of us that are being fucked over no matter what background we're from or whatever. And in fact, this is highlighted beautifully in one of the most powerful scenes in the film with the not economically viable guy, protesting outside the bank. And he's wearing the exact same clothes as Bill. But the fact that he is black is intentional as well, I believe, in that we're all, no matter what our background or the color of our skin or whatever, we're all getting screwed over by society, consumerism and all of the rest. And, we'll come into this world, as kids and we'll think that all we'll have to do is, go to school, possibly go to university, get a job and pay our taxes and we'll be looked after. But the reality is completely different. And it happens to all of us. We're all getting screwed over by society. And this film overall, generally, but particularly in that scene, but overall, it really does highlight that beautifully.
Well, the film, as it's telling its story, kind of like what you just said there, but it's how it's told. We get the idea of what he's saying. The average human beings being fucked in this world and so forth. But it's the film's execution that works the most. You know what I mean by that? You're rooting for this character, William, and as he's having these phone calls with his wife, Beth, and then she calls the cops, she's scared because he's coming. But even the cops she's like, okay, where's the restraining order? Oh, is it 100 yards or 100 feet? Well, it's up to the judge. Well, call your lawyer. Well, I don't have a lawyer. So, okay, what do you do? Did he hit the kid? No. Did he hit you? No. And the cops are like, what? Let me finish, please. He's like, what did this man do? So the cops, and I can kind of see the cops kind of having doubts, like, okay, why are we here waiting for this guy who hasn't done anything yet?
Yeah.
But the same thing happens to the way the cops treat Martin's wife behind closed doors, that she's batshit crazy, not really knowing the whole story themselves. So But my point is, we don't know yet if the wife maybe has the issue, and it's not him, and he's just had enough of being bullied. It's not the case, but you're kind of with him until it gets dark. That's what I mean by
even the wife herself says that the restraining order wasn't her idea. It was actually the judge's idea, who wanted to make an example out of him. So at this point, we are being more and more sympathetic towards him. Now, we'll find out later on that there's more to it, and it's very complex because his own mother is actually afraid of him. But do you notice in this film, apart from Bill and Prendergast, every single other character is really rude? And again, it goes back to the whole breakdown of civility. But even the cops, especially the captain, to Prendergast, everyone is really rude.
You're talking about Yardley. Sandra is decent.
Apart from Sandra, yes, but I would say the vast
Sandra's
bulk
decent.
of the other, the vast bulk of the other characters are very rude.
The ones I had a problem with were, it's like, are the women here all batshit crazy besides Sandra? Because you meet William's mom when they're investigating, and now I don't know if she's crazy or she's just scared of her son.
Yeah, by him, possibly.
So I don't know. You know what I mean? So I'm going with, it's the trail he leaves of chaos or people that he has damaged mentally and physically in his life. The trail he's leaving, including his mother and his wife and obviously daughter.
It's a bit of both, I think. And that is, for me anyway, it's just superb writing where it's left open to interpretation, because real life is like that. Real life is not black and white. It's all about grey areas. And this is just one of the many things that really makes this film succeed for me, and in fact, one of the greatest for me.
I think you're overselling it, but to each their own. If you got something out of it more than I did, that's fine.
Definitely, especially on this rewatch.
I got less out of the rewatch.
It worked the other way for me.
Because of the fact you got the detective, his last day, Martin, and he begins putting the pieces together of a man in a tie with the briefcase, man in a tie with the bat. He starts putting the pieces together, who this man is, and nobody believes him. Then you've got William's story. Those are the two stories you have here, really. And at the same time, you got William, who's fighting the system, I guess you can say, and is progressing more aggressively as he's getting more aggressive with his different scenarios he runs into, different scenes. You've got Martin getting closer to him because every time a scene happens, he starts putting the pieces together. And I do like that dynamic. The problem is, it's just one scene, believe it or not. The one fucking scene is the bazooka scene. Because you've got a film that's so deadpan and just dark. It's got some very dark humor that we're all laughing with because we can all relate to what he's doing. But then you go the bazooka, and a child comes up to him. Where are you making the movie? And the child shows him how to use the bazooka, and he blows up a whole street. And he would have killed, by the way, most of those people. This was completely out of context. This did not belong here. And right there, you've dropped this film way below what I originally thought about it. It's still a great film, but that one scene dismantles everything that you worked up to.
Yeah.
Period.
I would also say that Bill, I'm going back to what you were saying about Bill and Prendergast. They're basically two sides of the same coin. They're both sort of downtrodden by society, also by their wives, their home life, and all of the rest. But ultimately, I think the message of this film is that we're all fucked. We're all getting screwed over. But it is about how we individually react to knowing this. And do we get down the route of Bill, where we turn violent and go on a shooting spree? Or do we go down the route of Prendergast, who's a good man at heart, but he eventually stands up for himself and becomes a lot more tougher in terms of his wife and the people who he works with at the police station and stuff, but he's still a good man, you know what I mean? He's still honourable and all. So I think ultimately the message of this film is, yeah, we're all getting screwed over, but it's about the decisions we make with this knowledge that we are being screwed over. Do we go down the road of the light or the dark, essentially?
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my review with the things fall down flat pretty quickly with the bazooka sequence. I can understand its message. I mean, everyone can understand this message. It's clear as day. Just from you can just have that message in the opening sequence with the traffic jam right there. You know, it's a rat race in today's society, and that's what the opening scene alone was suggesting. But yeah, no, you lost me with the bazooka. It just, I mean, here's a sequence where he blows up, almost kills these workers, which he would have killed them. So now we just have a stupid action film, and he then he calls his wife and says, "Do you know in some South American countries it's legal to kill your wife if she insults him?"
Yep.
After this stupid last action hero sequence. And then he goes back on a comedy skit watching an old golfer die. And I was like, okay, now the original act, the original first 3/4 of this film is a pot boiler. It's getting more and more and more and more aggressive and more terrifying. And you're starting to realize, okay, there's something wrong with this dude. But the first time you're rooting for him, yeah. Now it's just like, okay, wait a minute. Bazooka, the golfers, and then it's just, nah. The last 20 minutes just kill this film. And it's just, yeah.
I think the bazooka scene is silly, but it doesn't ruin it for me. I thought, because there is a lot of dark humor in this film overall, especially the whammy burger scene and stuff.
That's before the bazooka scene, though.
Yeah, I know that there. But yes, I certainly admit that the bazooka scene is a bit too over the top and a bit silly, but it really doesn't ruin it for me. The scene with the golfers, yeah, it's all right. I mean, I didn't think it was the greatest thing in the film, but it sort of works and it adds to the story and the further
Don't get me wrong.
And stuff.
Don't get me wrong. I'm glad the old fucker died. I can't stand pretentious yuppie pricks who think they're better than anyone else. So, tough shit. He didn't get his heart medicine. But that scene would have been better before the bazooka.
Yeah. Well,
before making the call to threaten to kill his wife.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit.
I think that the best scenes are actually the more emotional ones. For example, whenever he then goes to the big mansion after the scene with the golfers, and he goes to the mansion and he starts giving off to this family who he thinks are like super rich and stuff, but they're only caretakers.
That's probably his best performance in the movie. Is that scene.
Yeah. And also, I would say at the end, that line where he says, where he's confronted on the pier by Robert Duvall, and the realization hits him. He goes, "Wait a minute, well, I'm the bad guy. You know, how did that happen? I paid my taxes. I did what was expected of me, and I'm the bad guy." And also the scene that we mentioned earlier on with the guy outside the bank, the not economically viable guy. So yeah, I think the more emotional, more sort of, for want of a better phrase, tender scenes work a lot better. And even the stuff with it's very powerfully done in a dramatic way. Whenever he kills the neo-Nazi guy who owns the gun store, you know, whenever, again, it goes back to him thinking he's actually the good guy throughout this film. Whenever the neo-Nazi guy thinks that he's actually just a vigilante and a nutcase and a bigot like him, but then whenever Bill realizes that this is what this guy thinks, he's disgusted. And that's because I'm nothing like you. I'm a good American. I pay my taxes, and that's why he kills him.
Let me ask you about that guy, Nick, character you're talking about. Now, I think the character's gay, and I'll tell you why.
Repressed.
So when he's shopping, he's shopping at the surplus store.
Mm-hmm.
Guy owns, and there's two gay men shopping.
Yeah, and
Nick is very abusive to them. Horrible service. You even see William's face rolling his eyes like, you don't talk to people like this.
Chill out. Yeah.
Chill out. And he almost starts a brawl. Nick starts a brawl with the gay men. The gay men leave. Mm-hmm. Then they go in the back room and he starts showing them all these, Nazi crap, Nazi memorabilia and shit. And when he finally confronts them, he goes, "I'm not no vigilante. What are you talking about?" Nick realizes, maybe he's not the man I thought you were.
Yeah.
And he gets him on his knees and he turns him around and he keeps repeating it. "Do you want it?" Or something like, what does he say? But it's very aggressive, like he's trying to force himself on him.
Again, there is a suggestion there of, especially with the whole, because even when done the wrong way, I'm not talking about actual Nazis. Well, this guy's a neo-Nazi, but even there is a certain S&M almost campiness to the whole sort of Nazi regalia and stuff, you know, and the uniforms and stuff. So I think there is a suggestion that he's a repressed homosexual, handsome, licensed with the real gay people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, because when he's in the back place that no one sees, you see a lot of weird bondage kind of.
Exactly. Basically it's a sex dungeon.
Yeah,
you know?
so I think that's
he wants to fuck Bill.
What?
And also go on a vigilante rampage with him. But Bill is straight-laced, and Bill is horrified whenever he finds out that this guy thinks that he's like him in terms of being, you know, like a neo-Nazi and stuff. And Bill's saying, how dare you? Words to the effect of, how dare you? I'm a good American. I'm a patriot. I pay my taxes. I'm a good citizen. You know, and that's why he murders him. Well, that, and obviously it's self-defense as well to a certain extent.
Yeah, the only person he technically kills is him.
Yes.
And that's self-defense. He kind of deserves it. So the other people we don't see. We see people getting shot, wounded by the drive-by
like
because
the dipshit gang members.
He instigated with them, but at the same time, that's not his fault. But he is part of it. But yeah, I'd rather talk all the way up to tell he takes the bazooka. Be honest with you, this is probably the key part when he kills Nick. That's is where it starts downfalling a bit. And I was like, okay, now we're just, this is getting a little. It almost seems you're so good at telling that whole story, you're afraid to go over a certain time, and they just rushed the rest. And there's Martin. They're saying goodbye to him with his birthday cake.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I know who it is. I know who it is. Blah blah blah. I got to go and solve this. And all of a sudden, they're at the wife's house. Sandra gets shot. Are you okay? Yeah, go get him. Oh, okay. Then he runs to the pier at the last minute and draw, but he's got a water pistol. Oh, I would have won. I was like, oh, okay, this is just a date. All that pure scene was a data dump for both actors and their stories. That's where you thought the wife killed the baby, and that's where it's a data dump. That's all it is. And it's like, well, we kind of know this. We don't.
And a certain
it was just rushed. It was like, this is nothing like the first 3/4 of this film.
I do agree that the first half is better, but I would say, especially leading up to the sort of chase on the pier and stuff, it does feel a little rushed, I'll admit that. But I think the real payoff is the final conversation, because don't forget, they never interact throughout the whole film until the very end, Pendergrast and Bill. So I think there's a great payoff with their conversation, but it does feel a bit rushed and contrived leading up to that, I'll admit. And the first half of the film is much superior to the second half, but I still think it's a classic and a great film overall.
Yeah, see, I can't use that term classic when it has these faults. I just don't think you can define a film a classic when it has these kind of faults.
I think it is superly written.
Yeah, I'll give you. I can't fault the writing. There's some great stuff in it, and what works well for it is such dark take, but it has some great. Best line in the fucking film. Captain Yardley's a prick to him the whole time. Yep. Nobody likes the character. You can just tell he's a dick because he's boxing when you first meet him in his office. And he's talking to the detective. He's talking to Martin, and Martin's sitting down. He's standing up to show he's superior. And at the end, when Yardley is in front of all the fucking press, he's like, yeah, that's my boy there. He's the one who solved this. He's my man. How you doing, detective? And then he just goes, fuck you, Captain Yardley.
Does he say, isn't it fuck you very much or something? Yeah.
He only goes, fuck you, Captain. And then he also tells his wife, shut the fuck up. I will be home when I'm home. And then he's finally sticking up for himself is what's happening here.
Yes.
And when he's telling his wife to shut the fuck up, I'm coming home. And guys, if you see the film, you understand why we're all rooting for that, because she needs to wise up. Stop treating him like she was to the course of the film. Sandra's in the same room, and you see Sandra going, "Yes."
He also punches Sandra's other colleague, that complete arsehole, the detective guy, the younger detective guy.
Yeah,
he punches him.
Yeah,
which we were all sort of rooting for, but yeah.
So of all the characters, he has the arc.
Yes, well, I think they both do, but yeah.
Well,
they're two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, well, he has. I would. The William character might have an arc, but it's a dark arc. It's more of it's a self-realization of what he's done. That's his arc.
And how our decisions, despite us all being screwed over, and how our decisions are what makes us, in the end, what type of man or woman we are. It boils down to how we deal with knowing that we're being screwed over. And Pendergast, he's the good man, the noble man, whereas Bill has went down a dark road, indeed.
You know what? I'm going to give myself credit. Self-realization of what he's become. That's fucking good.
Okay.
I'm trademarking that.
Right. Okay. Cool. Here, by the way, do you know? By the way, do you know this film was technically
Don't say Doctor Who.
No, technically remade by The Simpsons. There's an episode called Homer's Enemy. There's a character of Frank Grimes, and he looks the same, and he essentially behaves the same as Bill here. It's obviously inspired and sort of homage to it. But it's a very, very funny episode. This guy does everything right at the work. He becomes a new work employee of Homer at the nuclear power plant, and Homer's a complete idiot. But at the end of it, spoiler alert, the character.
I saw that one. He's like, look at me, I'm Homer. I can do this. I can do this. I can touch electrical wires. And he gets killed.
And then at his funeral, he hated
Grimy.
But he hated being called grimy. And then at his funeral, Reverend Lovejoy is going, here we're gathered here today to remember Frank Grimes, or Grimy as he liked to be called. Homer falls asleep at the funeral, then he sort of wakes up and goes, Marge, change the channel. Brilliant episode.
Yeah, and then someone goes, oh, that Homer, and they all start laughing.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, Frank Grimes, Grimy, is heavily based on Bill here.
Yeah, guys, it's a good film, falling down. It's kind of boring. This was too much of a serious podcast. Oh, we got Manhunter next. That's not going to help.
That's going to be a barrel of laughs.
We're going to have a good having that one. But yeah, no, it's a good outing. Check it out. Is what it is. Joel Schumacher is just a wonderful filmmaker. And check out, I'm not kidding, guys, check out 8mm and Phone Booth. Those are my two I go to. We already know about Flatliners and Lost Boys, but Phone Booth and 8mm are just...
Yeah, Phone Booth.
Kiefer Sutherland's just his voice, but it's so creepy.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, up next, finally, the Silence of the Lambs retrospective. And yeah, that's next. That's all I really got.
Happy
guys,
days.
give us a shout at Citizen Frame _podcast on Instagram and, of course, Facebook. That was an aggressive podcast.
Well, but I that's the way it should be for a film like Falling Down. It was almost like you were falling down in real time, Ciaran. But there you go.
Every podcast, I'm falling down.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're just a somber as the ending of this movie.
Are you calm now?
No, I'm fine.
You weren't earlier.
All
I
right,
fucking
guys.
dare you! I fucking dare you! You fucking bastard! You were basically like Frank Grimes, Grimy at the end of that Simpsons episode.
Yeah, see. Yeah, you're fucking Homer Simpson. That's okay. All right, guys, we're gonna end this one. Take care of yourselves. We'll chat soon.